Hello and welcome to the GonzoEwok channel and today's episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, which we like to call
Geordie Space Program.
If you saw last episode, you would have noted that we actually made it to Minmus and back, so we've now done one trip to the moon and one trip to Minmus, which is pretty fantastic.
If I can just stop you there, Ewok, let's not just downplay this. We didn't just get to Minmus and back, we're fucking one shot at Minmus, straight there, straight back. Excellent design on my part with a couple of minor hiccups.
Excellent piloting on my part.
Totally not argue with that one.
Well, I think what we're going to do today is something that we've been planning to do for a while that we lack the abilities to do. I'm not even sure we actually have the abilities to do, to be honest.
Probably not.
I watched a 30-minute video of how to get ships vaguely close to each other last night when I was suffering from a bout of insomnia. Haven't tried it, don't know how well it works, but we've got two boys lost in space. We've got Jebediah in this horrendous orbit in his ship, the Ewok Loves the Ass Mark quotation mark.
We should probably have a look to see how jacked up that orbit is, because it's not equatorial, that one, I don't think, is it?
No, it's more or less equatorial.
Oh, it is. Oh, no, for some reason I had it in my head, it had some horrible, inclination going on.
And then we've got Bill Kerbin II.
Yep, Zombie Bill.
The Zombie Bill in Fourth Time's a Failure. So I think we're going to try and bring these boys home this episode.
The way I'm seeing it, there's going to be some wicked parties on Kerbin at the fact that, the Kerbin civilization's now reached the moon and Minmus, and those boys are missing out on it. That's not fair. They should be there.
Yeah, and they were at the forefront of the initial
orange suits.
Geordie space program.
Totally, we need them there.
So we've got a working spacecraft that we know does the job. We've got the Red Lars Mark 1, which got us to both the moon and to Minmus. So I reckon something like this is going to more than have enough power. Now, that video that I watched last night had a far more elegant ship than we do. I think part of the problem that we've got is we're just not very good at rocket design, so we have to make up for inefficiency with power.
The fuck are you talking about? How dare you?
But believe me, if you look at some of the other guys who are doing things, they've got these little dainty, elegant rockets, and that gets them into orbit.
Namby-pamby rockets is what you're talking about.
Right, if you
does the job.
If you don't mind me sort of leaping in here, because this is your design, what I'm going to suggest is that we just get one of these doodahs, flip it around like that, and then use that to stick extra pods on like that.
It seems to me that that's a little bit of a clumsy way of doing it. What have we got in the way of pods? Have we not got like a little lander can or something?
We've got that one.
We could, if you grab that one and turn it upside down, the old one, turn it upside down, and just wedge it on the, wedge it, would need to put it underneath the new cockpit, the new and improved cockpit. Yeah, and then just plug that on, the whole shebang.
That's really an interesting solution, mate. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, I do. We don't need the science, do we?
We don't need the science.
No.
We do need some legs. To make this
able to
work as a lander.
We're going to have to be very careful here, because the last thing we want to do is get up there and then realise that we can't actually get the stranded Kerbin into the pod.
Yeah, that's true.
Are we really going to need legs?
I don't want to triumphantly get them all the way back, only to then crash and fail horribly. Oh my god, I am making this a lot more difficult than it needs to be.
It just doesn't want to play, does it? Why doesn't it want to go on there? Oh, there we go.
There we go. That's an interesting design.
I was going to say maybe put a couple of struts from the little tri-adapter up to the cockpit.
I think a decoupler might come in handy, to be perfectly honest. To just shoot that off for the landing stage. And it'll give it a little bit more bump to hold on to.
Okay then, just out of safety, get a couple of extra radial parachutes and put them to the side of the old Mark 1 capsule underneath as well. Just more parachutes the better. So keep the two on the side of the top one.
Well, I've knocked them out of sync because I accidentally picked one up before.
Yeah, and then maybe put a couple on the one underneath.
And my concern there is that it's going to come down sideways.
That's fine.
I suppose if it's going...
We just need them back in one piece, don't we?
If it's going slow, it doesn't matter if the landing's pretty or not.
Of course, if it lands on the side of a hill, they're going to be playing roly-poly for miles. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. We just need them back in curb and atmosphere. That's what we need.
Well, you reckon that'll be enough?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
in theory, we might be able to land the full lander. So that's just an emergency last step in case we really do need to get rid of it.
Yeah. The last thing we want to do is rescue them from space and then just smear them all over some highland and friggin' Kerbin. That's not going to go well.
I'll just take those engines away from that separation stage, otherwise that would have been a bit disastrous. Okay, so we're actually going to send a pilot, because we could send an unmanned probe, but, where's the fun in that? We're actually going to send a pilot on this mission, so who do you want to send to try and rescue one of the guys?
As much as I would like it to be Bob... Because,
Bob's retired.
Yeah, I think we need to retire him. I would like him to do it because it's kind of like I always imagine the oranges, the orange jumpsuits as brothers. So it's like you'd like to think that he's gone out there to save them and bring them back.
Well, Bob went to Minmus and the moon.
Yeah.
I think he's earned a little bit of rest.
Take Bobless because his name's a bit like Bob. There we go, that'll do. Okay. Incredibly stupid, kind of, uncourageous. Cowardly, that's the word, kind of cowardly.
We'll call this the Red Laz lifeboat.
I like it. Mark 1. Always Mark 1.
Always Mark 1.
That's how you know it's official.
So we're only going to be able to get one of the guys with this.
Yeah, but we'll play it safe. We might need to do it again. We'll see how it goes. This is kind of an experiment to see if we can do it. I'm just thinking, we did have some issues with the decouplers, didn't we? When we...
Yeah, we didn't manage to fire...
I think I've probably put the decouplers on wrong. I was trying to think about that after we recorded the last episode, but I think, fuck it, they'll be fine for the time being. We might need to work on that at some point.
It got up there, didn't it? That's the important bit.
And in theory, they shouldn't take as much Delta V. It shouldn't take as much fuel to...
I don't know, it's a pretty mad orbit that Jebediah's in, especially. And I think we should probably think about going for Jebediah first, because he's been up there the longest.
You do what feels right. It's all out of my hands now, really.
Well, you hear it off of me, technical advice. That doesn't look like the most secure...
I said struts. Just a couple of struts.
It'll be alright. What's the worst that can happen?
Well, it's not wobbling, so that's probably the best we can hope for.
I suppose the worst that can happen is Bobless also gets lost in space.
White coats are worth less than the orange jumpsuits.
So my initial plan is to get into a sort of circular orbit, and then try and search for an intercept point with... in fact, no, I want to be in a circular orbit with Jebediah.
Right, we'll see what we can do.
Now,
you can try decoupling.
I'll reiterate that the video that I watched was at about 4 o'clock this morning. I've had about 2 hours sleep during the course of the night, so don't be expecting wonders here, but this is the first attempt.
Come on, this has got to be like episode 9 or 10 now. I don't think anybody who's still watching is expecting any wonders from either of us at any point.
I don't know, if they only watched the last couple of episodes, they might have this mistaken idea that we actually have a sort of idea of what we're doing, which we clearly don't.
I think we did kind of manage expectations quite effectively, though, all the time that we were doing that with the complaining and the arguing. But quite correct. If somebody has just jumped into the last couple of videos, what are you playing at? What sort of imbecile watches?
Good one.
Well,
insult the people who are watching our video.
I'll insult anybody that sees a playlist of 10 videos and goes, I'll just start at 7. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
I think one of the best moments is still about 10 minutes into the first video.
Yeah.
Just after we've designed our very first spacecraft and stick it on the launch pad.
Yeah, that's going to take some beating. Fingers crossed. We might get that sorted today.
Oh yeah, fingers
crossed. So we have at the head shed HQ of Geordie Space Command, we have been putting some ideas together of what to do next. Neither of us were expecting to get to Minmus that smoothly. I'm sure people watching might disagree that it was a particularly... What have you done? What have you done?
I don't know, I didn't change any of that shit.
We must have fucked up the staging.
Okay.
It looks quite good the way it's all just kind of drifting around with those struts attached to it.
It does. I'm not quite sure what to do.
Well, we've probably got enough fuel to get that little smaller orbit. I think the one that Bob's in. Was it Bob? The little small orbit? We probably would have enough to get that sorted, you know.
I don't think that there is a problem with the station. I think that time the struts pulled everything off with it.
No, it didn't. Don't be daft.
Well, if you notice, I had 3 blank stages that I had to space tab through before I got to these engines.
I think you've reverted to type and you've hit space unnecessarily. I think we maybe should have double checked the staging for the decouplers. When we've played around with the rocket, it might have done something funny with them because
I really genuinely do not think the problem was with the staging there.
See if we can get into an orbit around the 4th time of failure. See if we can make that happen. I'm not sure if we've got enough fuel. It might be that the next one that we send up has 2 capsules attached to it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think this is going to work, mate.
No. Try it. I mean, you've got an apoapsis that's nearly there. It's very, very slow.
And it's wonky. I'll have to do a correction on it as well.
Fuck it! You know what to do.
Let's shoot for a biome.
Your cat's on our microphone. How to make that not happen? Get off! We decided
that seemed to be quite effective.
We decided today when we were recording not to lock the cats out. Usually we put them out in the hallway, but because they've been scratching at the doors, we figured we'd give them a break and let them into the room. And I'm instantly regretting that decision. It also improves the sound slightly, though. If anybody watches that Rogue Legacy video, the sound's a little bit better. And I think it's because we haven't got quite as much of an echo going on. We try and control it with post, but
yeah, I tried to control it with a bit of software, but it seems leaving that door open actually
beats the software.
Helps get rid of some of the reverb. There's no way I'm going to be able to make that burn. Estimated burn 2 minutes.
No, I'll not do it. And even if you get there, there's still going to be little course adjustments you're going to have to do.
Oh no, this is just to get to the mountains biome, which I don't think we've fully explored yet.
No. Okay, we're going to have to maybe double check that staging, maybe play around with the struts, but let's check the staging first and see what's happening.
I think it was the struts rather than the staging, I've got to be honest with you.
Well, we were hoping that this was going to be a nice little quick one just to get these sorted, but unfortunately it looks as though we've got time to severe case.
Yeah, it looks as though we've wasted the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if things went smoothly, then there would be no fun.
And really, just to start building the hype as well, we've got an awesome idea for what we're going to do next. I mean, we've been thinking bases, we've been thinking space stations, we've been thinking getting rovers out there. All of these things are good, all of these things we will try and make happen, but we've got a genius idea that we came up with in the headshed to get some more science and properly keen to get ourselves out there.
Way to pick it up. It is going to be epic though. We do have quite a nice plan, which we'll try after this video. I mean, this video is about rescuing our friends, and succeed or fail, after we've done this, we'll go on to the grand master plan. Ideally, I just really want a Jebediah and Bill back to take part in the master plan.
It would be perfect if we could get them on board, but we'll have to see what happens. I mean, this isn't looking particularly promising for our first attempt.
It's not looking great, but meh.
Why would we're going around fuel?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, well, at least we'll land them somewhere. We'll maybe be able to get a little bit of science out of it.
I think, unfortunately, the area that we might be coming down... Actually, we're not even carrying any science, what we're talking about.
Oh, yes, that's a good point. We took all the science off.
We collect some soil. Our soil collection's coming on fucking leaps and bounds with all of these wonky launches.
Unfortunately, I suspect we're going to land in the water, because we'll hit the atmosphere and that's going to slow her right down.
I just involuntarily squealed there by accident. Don't know what was going on with my throat.
Yeah, we're going to plonk in the water, aren't we?
Slowing down in there, putting the parachutes out is a pretty good idea.
Of course, of course. I've learned my lessons from those initial launches
I'd just like to remind you, so if it does happen, at least I can say I told you.
Very manoeuvrable, this thing.
Woo.
Probably shouldn't dig around so much.
I can just imagine like some of those strings starting to snap as you do that.
Shall I do an EVA report?
Probably not. If your cats aren't eating the microphone, they're sneezing. What's going on? What?
It's alright, it's just a white shirt. Do an EVA.
What? I looked at your cat for 2 seconds because it was sneezing, and you've just wiped Bobless out?
Who cares about Bobless? He's a white shirt. I thought we'd get a nice, dangerous EVA report.
How many lives are we going to throw away to save those two?
Their lives are worth far more than anybody else.
This is true, but you don't sit in front of the other white shirts.
Where is the ship? Is it gone? I'm not seeing it there. It should
Can't
be
see it
there.
on my list. Oh well.
Oh well, never mind.
That didn't go according to plan.
It's fine. Who cares about Bobless? Right, so the stages. Let's zoom out a bit. You see, the stages are fine, so that's the bit that's supposed to blow off the solid points, but it doesn't.
Oh well. So then, yep, you would press that and that would eject the solids, the first one. Then stage 4, I think, should just drop.
No, these two are the wrong way around. You see?
Oh, there. Well, at least we found out why. I knew that had to be a problem with the staging.
I wonder why that happened.
Probably when we were messing around, detaching it from the capsule, it does make things go a bit weird.
So that needs to go up there. Okay.
Yep, that seems right. Okay. And we'll need to check to see who we've got in. Can't send Bob.
Bilski, because his name sounds a bit like Bill.
Begins with a B. Close enough.
Begins with a B.
Just don't tell him what happened to Bobless.
Bobless will probably end up coming back like all of the other fucking zombie Kerbals.
Yeah, I was going to take notes on that, wasn't I? Try and keep track of who we've killed and how many times. If it's one of them things where we can't really just exclude using them. If they're the astronauts we've got, they're the ones we've got. But at least I can keep a running tally on how many times we've killed each of them. We still need to know what the body count of Geordie Space Program is.
Oh, we'll lose count soon enough. I already lost count on what the body count is. But you're right, it certainly doesn't help that they keep coming back to life.
It's very confusing. They should stay dead. With the exception of Bill and Bob. They should stay dead.
Well, maybe it is only the orange shirts that come back. Who knows?
Well, is that the first white shirt we've killed?
Probably not. I'll hazard a guess and say we probably killed a couple. But you never really remember their names, do you?
I do like to try. It helps us sleep better at night.
Maybe that's why I was suffering from insomnia last night.
Of course, yeah.
I was. That's why I ended up watching the video on how to get ships close to each other, because I just couldn't sleep thinking about poor Bill and poor Jebediah lost in space. Just the name of the first episode.
Yeah. It all ties together. All those loose, disparate threads all come together.
Right, I'm going to get my lean going a little bit early. Well, I say a little bit earlier, a little bit harder than I normally do. Just based on the relative success of the chappie I was watching last night. Christ, I'd love to give him a shout out, but I can't remember what his name was. I will do next time. I'm going to shout out because, at least you can do for your fellow YouTubers is point out where you've got
You
some
said
inspiration
it wasn't
from.
kind of like one of the big names either. You said
No,
he's quite a small channel that he was rocking, so we should give him a shout out.
He's huge in comparison to us. I think he had a couple of hundred subscribers, maybe 2, 3, maybe even 400. But the video itself had 14,000 views.
He still probably falls in. Well, he's probably fallen into the small channel category as opposed to our minuscule category that we're probably in here by ourselves with.
I'm going to look him up in time for the next video, and I'll give the fella a shout out.
What we'll maybe do is maybe drop something in the description for him.
That's a good
maybe
plan,
link to
mate.
his channel for the video you're watching.
Although we probably won't do him any favours if we say we followed his guide and we massively forgot.
Well, yeah, but that would be our problem, wouldn't it? If his guide sound, it's our execution of it that's going to.
Well, he did it really well.
Well, there we go. So it works. Oh no, what? Press it again. There we go.
Well, he actually did it almost too well in the fact that he did it so perfectly that he had to say, "Oh, this is going too well. I'm actually going to have to intentionally fuck it up a little bit so I can show you how to fix it." Because,
some people, I'm not liking the sound of this chap now.
Well, he came up to try and his plan was, I'm going to get up and then I'm going to show you how to intercept the craft, and he either fluked it or incredibly skillfully just came up and immediately intercepted the craft that was orbiting it.
Sort of like us with Midmiston, really.
Although he did have it slightly easier than us, because at least his Kerbals were in a controlled, stable, circular orbit, whereas ours are just halfway fucking into outer space.
Do we know how big that orbit needs to be?
Well, the plan is to get this into a sort of decent circular orbit, and then I'll nip into the ship that we're trying to get to and find out exactly how far out they are in terms of their proapsis and prolapses and shiz.
That's close.
I'm not very good at getting a circular
that'll be
orbit.
good. That'll do. Oh, maybe a touch more.
Oh, far too much.
Bull in a china shop. Well, that's good. 72, 73. That'd be perfect.
That'll be the bloody best orbit I've ever come up with. I'm going to have to start burning pretty much straight away though, aren't I?
Yeah, 37.5 seconds.
Really? Yes.
If we're wrapping around perfect. Yeah. I think maths are better than the way when I was doing World Legacy now. I could be wrong though. Pretty sure it's right.
No, I'm pretty sure it's right. I did the maths in my head just
You didn't
seconds after you.
Just didn't want to show off.
So yeah, this will be the best orbit we've ever achieved in terms of stability if we pull it off.
Yeah,
Let's check on the fuel situation there. Yeah,
it's all right. I mean,
doing fine. I mean, those fuel tanks last quite a while.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, if we can get that decent orbit going, it should be a little bit easier to use the last of the fuel from this and then the landing stage to just kind of tweak things and bring them in. I think we should be sitting fairly pretty.
Balancing this up is going to be a bitch. It really is.
It's when it comes to sort of inclining them and declining the orbits, that's when I start panicking a bit. I'm glad we didn't have to do that for Minmus. You would have thought we planned that, but...
Well, I'm only sort of really used to burning proapsis and periapsis. I'm not really
Prolapses and relapses.
Prolapses and relapses. That is a terrible orbit. That is not the orbit we were going
that's
for.
went terribly.
So,
do it again.
No, don't set as a target.
It's the downside with putting all these flags down, they end up confusing things.
Yeah, I might end up pulling them for the sake of simplicity.
And give it some beans.
I'm not sure if I'm actually moving it. There we go, 71. And that'll be 75. A little bit more. 72. 73. 73.
Close enough.
Close enough, I mean...
Wonder what went wrong though. We should hopefully try and learn from these mistakes. I think we've learnt a lot so far in the previous sessions that we've had, but I don't quite know why that didn't happen the way it was supposed to.
I must have just been slightly off with the positioning against the target. Why have I got no estimated burn?
Because it's only like, what's that, 13.9 seconds of delta V meters per second of delta V. That's next to nothing.
So I'll do it right on the nose. What the fuck have I done there? That's at 75. That's at 73. That'll do. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So now, if I can find somewhere where they sort of intercept, like there.
Do we know they definitely intercept? Because we're not quite on them. Yeah, get right on the equator. Maybe slightly down. Orbital mechanics, man. This is where it's at.
Yeah, that's not at all right. There's too much shit going on, really.
I mean, there's one spacecraft, and there's
It's
another, there's a flag.
It's just all the fucking lines getting in the way.
I think the line that you were looking at, you're fairly close. I think it just needs to come down a tiny touch.
Come down. As in,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. That's pretty close. I mean, it's not a huge hop, skip and a jump. We've just got to get fairly close to it. And then, because bearing in mind that Bob does have like a tank of EVA, he's going to be doing the manoeuvre.
Yeah,
So we just need to get fairly close to it, and then, let him hop across. It's going to be getting the speeds relative to each other. That's where it's going to get a little bit tricky.
Yeah, and that's probably way beyond my ability. I think we've probably bitten off more than we can chew, but
well, I'd give it a go. I mean,
exactly. This is attempt one,
and let's be honest, this was going to be kind of like a late stage kind of thing as well. We figured probably by the time we try to get around to this, we'd probably be way better and have a much better idea of what we're doing.
So it looks like I'm actually going for Bill here rather than Jebediah, but it seems the sensible way to go since he's the one who's closer.
Even if we bring one of them home, that's still a success. That's 1 for 1. 1 life lost, 1 life brought back home. Albeit a zombie.
But it's still an orange shirt for a yellow shirt, which is a
white shirt. Where do you get your yellow from?
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek.
Aye.
They don't wear yellow either.
Security. No, they're red.
No,
yellow.
No, security
ops?
aren't red.
I'm getting confused with their generation.
Data wears yellow. He's ops.
Look at it, just taunting with flying by. Off it goes again.
It's okay. We'll get there.
Tense.
There's a lot of tension, a lot of waiting for the nodes, and desperately not wanting to overshoot.
I think it's because really we are properly out of depth here. It's probably a very simple manoeuvre for people in the grand scheme of things.
Again, as you've said many times before, there's probably people out there just yelling at us and calling us all sorts of shit.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's not bad, it's still a little bit wonky.
It's close enough. Okay, so what's your thought process here then? What are you trying to achieve?
I'm just trying to straighten it up a bit more.
Now, are you freehanding this? It's a bit jumpy.
It is a bit jumpy. See, a more skillful player would be able to freehand this. Shall I just try and work with what we've got and see if we're close enough?
Come on, it's a bit cack-handed, but it'll do.
Right.
Oh, that helps. There we go. So we've got to get those red bits.
Oh, hang on, we're going to intersect it, but we're going to intersect it a fucking long way away. 8.4 kilometres away. So what I probably want to try and get is maybe a manoeuvre node around here.
I like your thinking. Oh, didn't they just cross over?
I mean, we're still a long way out in terms of intersection.
Look at all these bright new colours.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I saw some of these yesterday and didn't really know what they mean.
It's. I think, isn't it, where one ship will be in relative to the other?
It is.
So we need to get those closer together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would we do that? Oh, that's not bad. Oh, they're closer there. Oh, go back. Prolapse. Look, that's getting close. So bring them so they're kind of pointing together.
600 kilometres out.
There'll be less there.
100 kilometres.
You need to zoom in a little bit for fine tuning.
24 kilometres.
I suppose it's because it's that.
I'm getting 24 kilometres away from each other.
A little bit closer, but a little bit. Yeah, too much. Bit more. Careful. No. That's it. Gentle.
15 kilometres. I'm going to have to... this isn't going to work. I've missed the opportunity, mate. Spent too long fannying around.
Do it anyway.
I don't know where the node is.
That might be it. The pink one.
I don't think it is. It should be just a blue node like normal. Unless that's some sort of special...
No, there's the blue one. There we go.
Mate, we've missed the opportunity.
Doesn't start burning.
Really? You don't just want to exercise a little bit of patience.
This is the closest we've ever been either of to getting somewhere near something else.
It's not going to work. We've missed the opportunity. We've missed the opportunity by a country mile. Have some patience. We'll do another loop.
I was just trying to make up for the fact that we were ballsed up the first launch, that's all. I just thought, I'll get it done in a one-er. One shot Bob, that's what we want. Ooh. Ooh. What's that like? 10 kilometres? 10? 10? How many's that?
Alright, take it easy, Tiger. I still don't really know what I'm doing.
Just get to that manoeuvre node and then burn it, and then when we get there we need to do something else and then everything's fine.
Yeah, we need to go into docking mode, I think.
I don't know if we do because we're not technically docking.
We're not, but once you get into docking mode you can use your RCS to manoeuvre with.
Might
to
be
gently nudge the ships closer to each other.
Might be worth checking to see how much RCS we've actually got. Just hover over the old resources. Monopropellant.
Half of it. I'll turn it off for now.
Yeah, I'll make it controlled a little bit funny.
But it means we'll preserve it. So we've got a 27-second burn.
It's doable, you know.
Of course it is. This is exciting, isn't it? To be honest,
I've got fuzzy feelings on my bottom. I'm not excited.
To be honest, this ship, I mean, I'd be almost tempted to ditch everything but the lander stage if it wasn't too late to do that now, because this is going to be a lot less manoeuvrable than if I just had the lander stage.
Yeah, but I think use that fuel.
In fact, the lander doesn't have any individual RCS on it, so that would be a terrible idea. The RCS is all on the main body of this stage.
But I don't think we need a huge amount of RCS. I don't really think that we need it. All we need to do is we can use our thrusters to try and get a relative speed to Bob's craft, and then Bob's going to be using the RCS on his little EVA to jam himself over. We've just got to get close to it and about the same sort of speed.
That's easy for you to say.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We'll be alright.
We're going to get there in 7 seconds.
Well, that's good.
I hope. So when exactly are we going to intercept it? On the next loop around, do you think?
I don't know.
Well, no, because we were well off there.
Oh.
387 kilometres.
That's bad.
That's not that bad.
So we're inside, so he'll be catching us up. Our orbit's lower than his, so he should, in theory, be catching us up.
It's alright, I can do a correction.
Just need to be very precise with these burns, I suppose. Yeah.
So 11 kilometres.
I mean, that sounds like a lot if you were on the planet, but in space with the RCS, just a little push.
Bearing in mind the speed we're going to be going.
Yeah.
In terms of target speed, look at the difference between the speeds.
What is the target speed?
That's how
it's
fast
only
it's
about
moving relative to us.
What's that? Only like a kilometre a second faster than we? Be fine.
Have I missed the target or something? Or is it just because the burn's going to be so small?
It's because the burn's tiny. Oh, go on. A bit of an odd manoeuvre.
I'd rather be able to see it myself.
I like it. That was a freehand. 12. Still a lot, but it's not ridiculous.
Okay, how long is it going to take us to get there? 2 hours. I'm going to add a manoeuvre node so that I know it's going to take us 2 hours to get that point. Let's put a little bit of fakery on it, just so I can zip forward a bit.
Oh, look, we're catching it up.
Damn right we are. This is where it all goes tits up, mind. This is where it requires the type of precision that I don't have, because I'm going to have to get the ships lined up, moving at a similar speed, close enough to each other, then switch ships, then EVA out and transfer.
It'll be fine. We just need a cool head, and we'll work it out as and when we need to.
That's exactly what NASA did during their space program.
Yeah.
That's what they said. Was just strap the shit together, fire it up into space, and then we'll just work things out as we need to.
They did that on Apollo 13. They were using duct tape and a plastic bag from Asda. They were using all sorts. They just got loads of shit, cobbled it together, and then they could breathe again. I've seen the film. I watched a bit of a documentary on that. It was quite interesting. Actually, I believe on YouTube there's a video, and somebody who was one of the engineers on the mission talking them through on ground control showed you exactly what they did. It was quite
hang on, this intercept says it's 3 million kilometres away. I'm really confused now.
Yeah, for some reason, look, we're going to kind of pass it up to the top left of the orbit. Look, see there we go, there we've passed it. We're travelling faster. Oh, that's, oh, that's quite close. But it's not really, but it's fairly close. See, because I think we're going to be going on the inside track, so to speak. It's like a running race. We're on the inside track, so we'll be getting around.
It's because I had the manoeuvre node down there. It was being an arse.
Awesome. Okay. So, we'll nearly be able to see it from now.
You think?
Yeah.
I seriously doubt we'll be able to see it.
Have a look. Go on. But it's going to be up there, out of space, isn't it? Sort of like, yeah, over there somewhere. There's no sign.
Is that the target, perhaps? There we go.
There, it's 14! Right, get yourself up towards it.
What, you want to start moving towards it now?
Gently, gently, gently burn your way across. Very gently in its general direction.
There's really not much in terms of fuel left.
Doesn't matter, we've got loads more on the lander. Just very gently.
Yeah, but I want the RCS.
You don't. No, you're going to hurtle towards it if you're not careful. I'd probably stop now. See, look, we're only going at 69 relative to the target. That's not a huge amount.
It's not.
It's doable.
Why did we put that on the bottom? If we had it on the top, it would have been far easier for him to get into it.
Now, we're picking up speed, so remember just to keep dropping back. Because once we've balanced the speed out, see, we're approaching it 90 metres a second here.
I know what I'm doing. This is not how the fella did it in his video.
There's the right way, there's the wrong way, and there's the GonzoEwok way.
It was far more controlled and precise.
We found it! Look! Careful with your speed. Just
I'm careful with my speed.
Tickling that little throttle. Look, we're getting so close. We might need to be turning around though at this point, because we're going to want to burn a little bit backwards. Or you're going to use RCS to do it?
I'm going to use RCS for it.
Right. So yeah, I've seen people do that before we go into like a chase mode. So we kind of need to be pointing a little bit more towards it, possibly.
Now,
I'd be tempted to kill our velocity towards it and just get Bob to just fly over. Just hop into his EVA. It's much easier to control his EVA. This is looking pretty sweet. Still approaching it fairly quick, but yeah, just keep pointing at that pink node. What are we like in terms of RCS? Still got quite a bit.
That's because it's not turned on. I'm not actually doing anything.
Well, we're still kind of drifting towards it using the power from the ship itself.
Gently does it.
It's very, very slow, but I think that's probably the way we're going to have to play it, because otherwise we'll just shoot by it or smack into it. I mean, we can dart into moons and the planet. I don't want to dart into another spaceship. Not just yet, anyway. That's maybe something for a future episode.
I don't know how to use the RCS to boost me forward, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, is it shift and...
I just seem to be able to go up, down, left and right. Quick, get on your phone or something and look it up. What are you using there?
My phone's shit, that'll not do that. If you're out of docking mode, I think you can use H and N. These keys over here become like an alternative WAS and D.
Shit, it's getting further away from us.
Oh well, RCS is...
Hang on.
Oh,
What the fuck? Why did it fire that? Oh, for fuck's sake. Why the fuck?
So we'll put one bit of staging right and we didn't bother to check the last bit.
Oh my god.
So now we've got another Kerbal that's going to need rescuing. I don't know what to say.
Oh.
I genuinely do not know what to say.
All of this because I didn't know what the fucking button was to use RCS to push me forward.
These are the kind of things we should look up before we decide to do something like this. That was very unfortunate.
Look at them.
Just so close.
Zipping away from each other. And do you know what?
Here's an idea. Could we not hop into the other one and just get Bob to go across and sit in that one, so at least the two of them are together?
What, you reckon Bob can...
Just EVA across, just aim at it and just fling yourself towards it. Because we can do the old EVA. Ship's throttled up, so we need to kill that.
You really think I can get over there?
If we can see it, it's worth it. What have we got to lose at this stage?
You really think you can get 10 kilometres over there?
It's Bill. Why not try? I mean, it's probably quite a hike. I cannot believe that happened. Honestly, I could weep. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, after such a good run,
we could have had that.
So close.
Then it seemed to be. I mean, I might be wrong here, but it seemed to us that the spacebar fucked everything up. there seemed to be a press of the spacebar, and then all of a sudden, what was going swimmingly went to rat shit.
Well, what I was trying to do was get to the lander stage, but obviously there was a significant fuck up in that regard.
No,
at least we know what this pink dot is now.
Yeah, well, we've learned something. 13 kilometres, but it's getting further away all the time, so you'll have to be quick smart about it.
I'm going to go on the record and say I think this is a terrible idea.
He has got a decent amount of fuel, don't he? It's not very much, is it? Just pump yourself towards it and see if that gets enough.
It's getting further away.
Oh, yes it is. Get back! Get back! Get back to... No, not doing it.
I told you this was a bad idea.
Should have just went with my first idea. I told you it was late game stage to try this.
We nearly got there. If it wasn't for the staging, it would have been fine.
I'm seething.
Well, let's at least get this guy back in the safety of a ship, eh? And then once we've done that, it's coming up quite fast.
Need to burn backwards a little bit. It's a good practice in terms of what we'll actually have to do when we get around to doing this. Get further away again. What's going on?
What's going on is that it's quite a difficult manoeuvre for an amateur such as myself.
It's not bad, just go towards it. Look, we've still got loads, still got 80% of the fuel there. Go towards it, and you're getting close, slow it down. It's like trying to land on something.
If only we could get little individual parachutes for the curtains, and you could do a...
I believe there's a mod for it, but again, it's a mod.
No, we don't do mods.
Oh, I think we've possibly kind of fucked Bill II's chances here.
Nah, Bill's gonna be okay.
We'll get there.
It'll take a little while, but we'll get there.
Cannot believe that happened.
So close as well. I mean, how far were we away from it at the best point?
Not very much. It was something like about 7 kilometres, if that. We're very, very close to it. So this is coming up fairly quick now. You've picked up a bit of speed. Yeah. Oh, well, I think that's something that we'll come back to at a later date. I mean, you know, that was fairly entertaining to watch just from me kind of sitting on the sidelines a little bit, but it would have been better if we actually got something done the past like 40 minutes or so. Possibly even more. I've got no idea how long we tried that for. Gently. Oh, there we go.
Well, thank you for watching this episode of Geordie Space Program. We're sorry that we failed. But
Miserably.
I think we've learned some lessons.
Yeah, staging. We learnt that from 10 seconds into our first video, but yeah, we'll do that again at some point.
Yeah, I think we've learned enough that could be successful, but we'll go away. I'll learn how to use the RCS thrusters a little bit better. We'll fix the staging of the Red Lars lifeboat before we try it again.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to put the pin in this for now and start with the next stage of Geordie Apocalypse.
Yeah, as always, if you've liked any of our videos, please like, comment and subscribe. Drop us a comment, probably again full of abuse, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.